Also known as Mama Love with Metal Wani, and I'm here with Mark from Periphery. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Of course. Thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate it. Today is the last stop on the Sonic Unrest Tour.
Yes.
How's it been going?
Awesome. I would probably have to say, a common sentiment amongst, our entire band, our entire crew, and the other bands has been, it's maybe the easiest tour we've ever done.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in terms of everything logistic, the routing was great, the way the tour was put together. The bands have been super chill and easy to work with. The music's great. And nobody's really gotten that sick or anything like that. We've just had very good fortune.
Good.
Very fortunate. It's been a fun tour, really.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's been a few weeks since the new album was released, Select Difficulty. How's the fans been receiving the new music?
Good. I try and stay off of the fan reviews for a while. Sometimes I have a moment of weakness where I'm sitting in my bunk and I wonder what people are saying. I hope they don't hate the album. But I think the reaction's been pretty positive. At least judging from people that come to our shows, and really that's the kind of feedback I care most about. Because any random dude can get up on YouTube and make some terrible comment about your music, but it's the people who come and interact with us and will actually tell these things to our face. That's the kind of real opinions I care about. And their feedback has been very positive so far, so I'm very happy.
Good. You playing new music live?
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like we're playing half the album, so I certainly hope people like the album, because you're going to be disappointed if you come to see us on this tour and we played half of an album you didn't like.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Periphery is a band of many talents, and in the space of 19 months, the band delivered not one, not two, but 3 new albums, each of which could easily be considered masterpieces. It's not only a true feat in a market where bands typically only release an album once every 2 years or so, but it's a testament to the band's free-flowing creativity.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we have always been the kind of band that writes for fun, as opposed to treating it like, oh, hey, a year and a half, 2 years has gone by, maybe we should start writing. For us, writing is a way to sort of stay sharp and stay busy off of tour. And we're a band that enjoys the downtime as much as we enjoy touring. I think a lot of bands are built and they're assembled in a way where they have to be touring to make money, to keep their heads above water. But us, we like to get involved in numerous projects and endeavors that can actually bring home income instead of touring relentlessly. And so that leaves us with a lot of free time, and it leaves Periphery as more of an outlet than anything, It's like the fact that we don't have to quite rely 100% on Periphery as our source of income makes it so that we can treat it, one, as more of a leisurely thing, and two, that allows us to have way more fun with it. So I think that's why the output is so constant, because we have fun with it. And I think the moment you start to treat it like a deadline or some sort of quota that we have to meet, like, oh, one album every 2 years, one album every 3 years, then that's when you run the risk of walking that line. So we're just having fun. We're not closing the creativity valve. We're keeping it open, no pressure, just right to have fun.
Okay, so you're the kind of guys that look forward to your downtime.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Nothing sounds better than, cold beer and video games and, having a guitar nearby and simple life, simple. But that's what leads to the inspiration, That's why we love the downtime, because we find it hard to create without having some sort of positive life experience to draw off of for inspiration. So you need the positive life experiences.
So Select Difficulty in many ways feels like an expansion on the Juggernaut series. While it may or may not reach the heights touched by that, there's more than enough groundwork laid to make another standout album. How do you look at this album as a fan, having heard 3 albums in a span of 19 months?
Yeah, they're very different from one another. I would say that Juggernaut was very brooding and kind of a slow burn, I don't think it's an album you could appreciate the first time you hear it and really truly love. I think you got to let it sit with you. Periphery 3 for us was very much a reaction to that. It was like, let's do away with this whole slow build-up type of approach to writing an album, and just track 1 kicks you right in the groin. Track 2 kicks you right in the groin. It's a very direct album in that sense, and to me, I like the progression. I like how it compares to how serious Juggernaut was, Whereas Juggernaut was very stark in tone, Periphery 3 is a lot more playful and whimsical and sort of jumpy all over the place,
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Marigold is a track that embodies the best attributes of not only Periphery as a band, but music in general. there's some diversity here from the normal sound, with the band employing the use of choir-style background singing.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to play that in live?
Oh yeah, we play it live every night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that from the very beginning was one of the first songs we demoed for Periphery 3, and we knew instantly it was going to become a staple of the album because sort of how different it was. You know, it's like there is a standard Periphery sound, I think, when we hear something that's instant Periphery, but this was sort of a step outside of that zone in a very positive way.
Right.
And we've always been very excited about playing it live. So yeah, we play live. It's a fun song.
Do you use pre-recorded
Yeah,
backgrounds?
so the symphonic stuff, we have to use that.
Yeah.
We have to. You know, we don't have any orchestra in our band. I wish one day we'll have some orchestra.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
So I've heard the price is wrong. They play it a lot on the Comcast music channel.
Cool.
So
that's good to know.
Yeah. But I heard that was written for Juggernaut, but didn't make it.
Funny story about that song. When I got involved with the band back around 2010, so 6 years, I wrote the first half of that song as sort of semi-audition to see if I had writing chemistry with the guys.
Okay.
And I brought it to them, and they all really liked it, but we could never quite figure out an arrangement. It was supposed to be on the album Periphery too. So this is 5 years back now.
Mm-hmm.
It never made it because it was never 100% in terms of the arrangement. Never got quite there. But we finally tweaked it to a point where we were happy with it. And yeah, we were all excited. We always knew it was going to be the first song on the album. You know, it's sort of explosive. Oh, let's get up and go. You know, it's a heavy metal album. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it seems like you have a lot of songs in the queue to...
Oh, man. But it goes back to the whole writing out of boredom things. Like, we have what we call a riff graveyard, like a demo graveyard. That's seriously hundreds of discarded ideas, not because that they weren't good, but because we just never built off of them. So if we're ever in drought, we'll go back and visit, like, you know, this 2008 demo or this demo we did back in 2012 when we were bored on tour. That's a beautiful thing about having so many members who are creative and having the ability to sort of write relentlessly, you know?
Yeah. So we should be expecting some more new music from you soon?
Maybe. I can't give a timeline on it, but yeah, we're always writing. Trust that.
Great. So we recently, Metal Wani had a chat with Tomas from MESHUGGAH.
Yeah.
And as they're gearing up for the release of their new album, The Violent Sleep of Reason, and he expressed the concern with lack of good songwriters in the prog metal scene. And as bands are focusing more on technicality than writing good songs. What's your take on that?
I completely agree. I don't think I have a very firm pulse on the metal scene. Just, I don't know. I'm such like I feel like an old timer sometimes when it comes to the type of music I listen to. But when I do hear bands doing the whole prog thing, I do notice that sometimes there's too much of a focus on complexity and intricacy and being, you know, notey for the sake of being notey, you know?
Right.
I like songwriting, and that's why I love, you know, my old class. Like, I love Van Halen and Metallica, that stuff from that era, because it was songwriting first, and then complexity if there was room for it. And, you know, like with Periphery 3, there's only 2 proper guitar solos in the album, because the songwriting comes first. The complexity should be something that you can find if you want it. It shouldn't be the anchor of your music. You know, I get bored with that stuff very quickly.
Right. So with your last release coming out just a little while ago, and tonight being the last night of your tour, are you going to go back out anytime soon, or are you going to take a while off?
We're doing one show in South Africa at the end of September. It's our first time there. We're doing a short Australian tour in February, and then we're going to look at doing another tour next year. But part of our game plan is not to oversaturate the market with ourselves, you know. Like I was saying, this goes back to the whole free time thing. I don't want to tour so much to where we get burnt out and people get burnt out on us, more importantly.
Right.
I would hate to see any semblance of a regression when it came to these markets. And in my mind, as long as we keep putting out material that we feel is strong and people feel is strong, the only way that could happen is if they got sick of us because we were here too much. And I've seen that happen to bands. And I don't want to be one of those bands that plays your city 7 times in a year, and then by the 7th show, people are like, "Oh, I saw them play 3 months ago." You know, like,
Right.
I don't want to do that. I'm married. I don't want to be away from my wife that long out of the year.
Yeah. So you mentioned about touring Europe. Ever been to India?
We played one show in India 4 years ago, a show in Bangalore. Yeah, we were there for only like a day and a half to play one show.
Right.
flew, it's like it was 40 hours total in the air, there and back. It was brutal. I loved it though. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Great people.
A lot of fans over there. You have any message for your Indian fans?
Oh, I love you guys, and you guys are some of our most passionate, powerfully voiced fans out there. I love how you're all over everything that we post online. And yes, we will be back. We will be back, and we will be back soon, and we will play a much longer set than we did last time.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That concludes my interview. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Awesome.
Yeah.